Good evening. Good evening. How is everybody?
Welcome, welcome.
All righty. We are here for the Worship and Wellness Conference 2024. Yes.
Yeah. Let's go. Looking forward to the conversation.
Come on. Share, like, so get excited that you are here tonight, where we are here. So this is kicking off. Hey, sister. We are here to kick off the Worship and Wellness Conference 2024 with April being Financial Literacy Month. Our first start will be on financial wellness. I am here, Nicole, with my co-host Marcus, and we are the Worship and Wellness team at Fresh Start Church. Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Welcome. Please share.
Yes. Going to have some more people. We're going to have our other participants. We have some great financial experts coming on tonight to help us to really talk about financial wellness, what it is not, some different tools, questions. Definitely send your questions so that we can actually have those answered. Also, know that tonight is virtual. Tomorrow night is also going to be virtual. And just to remember that Friday night is going to be a spiritual wellness where we are going to be worshiping God in person at Fresh Start Church starting at 7:30 p.m. And Saturday, we will begin at 8:30 a.m. with the Worship and Wellness where we will do mindfulness. We have a panel discussion from all age groups. And then also we will have moving of the body, Zumba. And then we will also have vendors coming out to sell different wellness items, also giving wellness freebies and anything else that you may need for wellness that you can just tell us about. Maybe we can add it to next year. Maybe we already have it. Just ask us questions and we will let you know. So here at Worship and Wellness, we believe in biblical principles with practical steps. And tonight, as we go into the biblical principles, we will also give you some practical steps to move forward on how to become financially well. Anything you want to add, Marcus?
Yes, just that I'm excited to get into this. Here, grow and prosper. These are words we're going to live by, and I'm definitely looking forward to the start of this conference and the days to follow as well.
Good evening. Good evening, Pedro. We see you coming on. Brittany, hello, everybody. We're glad to see that you are all here. Jimani, hi, Karen. Good evening. Good evening. We are going to bring in our host and our co-facilitators tonight. We have Ashlyn Price. Hi, Ashlyn. Welcome.
Hey,
we are so glad to have you.
Thank you. Listen, I feel like we're about to have a party, y'all. This is about to be fun. Can
you tell the people a little bit about yourself?
Yes. So thank you so much for inviting me to be on the platform to talk about worship and wellness and financial literacy. Because April is Financial Literacy Month, so of course we had to talk about money, right? So thank you
Indeed.
so much for that. I am excited to be a part of the conference virtually, and I'll be there in person. So I am Ash Lynn Price, aka the Money Social Worker. I am a licensed social worker, certified financial social worker, and a financial consultant. So, what I do is I merge all of that together and I take the clinical aspect of social work and the tangible aspect of money and I merge them together. And I talk about how your past perspectives, traumas, and beliefs about money influences your current spending habits. Essentially, how do I build a relationship with my money? So I do the money mindset stuff regarding our
Hmm.
finances.
Okay,
Love it.
okay. Okay, the relationship with money. That's big right there. That's big.
Yeah, we all need it.
All righty.
Absolutely.
It's okay. We laugh. We have animals and
My
children running
dog is.
around.
Then we also have another participant, David Smoot, who is also a financial guru. Welcome, David.
Hello, everyone. How are you guys tonight?
Good, good. How
Welcome,
about
welcome. You
yourself?
like you about to tell a story. You just feel like,
I got plenty. I got plenty of stories. I have plenty.
yes.
Trust me.
Can you introduce
Well,
yourself to our audience?
I can. David Smoot. I am a licensed loan officer. 25 years in the business. I'm also I would also consider myself a well um, well experienced credit coach as well. So
All
I've
right,
added
all
that
right.
to my tool belt. Just everything real estate, pretty much, as far as the financing side, whether it's residential, commercial, and all that encompasses with individuals as well as families. And
Um,
we try to educate along the way, trying to help people understand that really when you purchase a home, that you're in business at that point.
Mhm.
You're really in business, and that's how it should be viewed. So I'm looking forward to tonight. I'm looking forward to the discussion. I'm definitely
yes.
looking forward to hearing what everyone else has to say, and let's go.
Awesome,
Absolutely.
awesome. That's great. We definitely want to be educated, and that's where our practical steps come in with education of how we look at what God says about money, and then those practical steps about how we get our money together and how to be well. So, just to kick it off, I want to get your guys' perspective on what does financial wellness mean to you, and either one of you can start.
Ladies first.
Mm-mm. Let-
Oh,
Thank you.
okay.
So, so what is financial wellness? So I'm gonna start back a little bit. And what does wellness mean to me, just
Okay.
as a whole? Wellness to me as a whole is learning, right? Learning balance, learning your instincts, having trust in yourself,
Mhm.
trust in your body, trust in your mind, in your spirit, right? Just literally just trust in your instincts, right? About balance, about learning, practicing those habits of mind, body, soul daily, of whatever that looks like. Financial wellness to me means building your
Mhm.
instincts, building your trust, having the accountability, being open enough to say, hey, I need help. Hey, I need support. So, just having a balance with your finances. You don't need to know everything about money, right? I don't know everything about money. I don't need to know everything about money. But I think financial wellness is being able to have an education, to have a foundation, to have an understanding of basic financial literacy, of credit, of budgeting, and savings, along with trusting your instincts and having a balance of who you are in that process.
Okay.
Okay.
Just to-
Trusting your instincts. That's
absolutely.
I love that. And I love the fact that
all right, David.
my apologies.
Go ahead.
Yo, go
I
ahead.
was saying I love the fact that you said you don't know everything about money. I believe it's important that we know it is it's a constant journey. It's forever learning. And that's how we should be growing in every aspect of our life.
Yeah, and you
Go ahead.
touch right on it. That's actually one of the parts of healing your relationship with money, is knowing that financial literacy and educating yourself is an evolve. It evolves over the course of a lifetime. And as we go through different phases of our life, it changes, it evolves, it grows, it matures. What I know now at 30 wasn't what I knew at the age of 15 or 21.
Oh man, 30. Whew,
Definitely.
Give me
30.
a shy couple years here and there. Couple years here and there, right? I ain't tell it all. I ain't tell it all. I ain't tell it all.
30. I'm not gonna tell you my age. Ooh,
Wisdom, wisdom.
Financial wellness, to me, all that I concur everything that Ashlyn stated. Just to add to that, the only thing I can think of is definitely continuing to evolve, because everything in this world is evolving, but also, perhaps trying to connect yourself with someone who's done it before you, just to get that their input, someone who's done it successfully. You only can get better when you attach yourself to someone who's higher on the spectrum than you are, and you try to learn from them. Wellness, just like your physical, personal wellness, it's understanding your finances, you know what I mean, and just trying to build upon that in a positive way, in order for you to continue to evolve and grow. That's what I think financial wellness is, and continuing to learn and educate yourself. Um, the information that you get, you use it, and financial wellness in that aspect, you use it to fit what's best for you and your family. Everybody's going to be different. It's not going to be the same. You know what I mean? So
Yes.
I can't really go by somebody else's situations and circumstances, because they may not apply to me. So that's very important.
That's really good. That's really good. That's really good to understand that that the journey is going to be different for everyone, different backgrounds, and where it comes with the history. Someone may come right out of the gate where their family learned how to save, learned how to invest, and there may be another person where it's like we lived paycheck to paycheck. So definitely the journey being different for each person, and understanding that your journey is going to be different, and financial wellness may not mean the same thing to everyone. So that's very important.
Yeah.
You had anything else to add, Marcus?
I just wanted to touch on what he said about the mentorship. That's something that's often overlooked. I mean, everything leaves breadcrumbs, right? We can be whatever we want to be, but like you said, you have to test somebody who has successfully done it. That's the key. You have to find somebody who's successfully done it, and definitely learn from them, and allow them to pour into you. And you can achieve anything.
I would like to add something else too. Something that I've learned over my years with maturing and growing. You got to be transparent about your situation, whatever that existing status is. You need to be transparent in order for you to grow. If you're not transparent, then you're trying to build off of a weak foundation, so to speak. So you definitely need to be transparent, and that's that with that mentor, that can be they can play the role of an accountability partner as well. That's the only way you grow. You gotta be transparent and real about your situation.
Oh, that's good. And that's the first step, is saying, hey, I need help. I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to do that. Can you help me? Can you support me? The first step is just admitting that I need help. Like,
Absolutely.
yeah, that's me. Yeah, I suck at savings. I don't know how to do a budget, because that's a skill that has to be learned. Right?
Absolutely.
People think
Absolutely.
just because even myself, like I had to learn how to do my budget for myself. That's not something I just came out of the blue. Was like, okay, I can do a budget. No, I had to learn how to do that multiple times to see how it fits my style of learning, of documenting, of my work schedule, my pay periods, what bills are coming in.
Yes.
Like I had to learn how to do that, and I have to learn how to teach people how to do that. That's a different type of skill as well.
Listen, most
Yes,
people,
absolutely. Learn from your mistakes.
yeah,
Yeah,
Chanel
a lot
Wallace
of
said,
people,
learn from your mistakes. That's very
a
important.
lot of
yeah,
people don't even know what they're spending their money on. They don't
Yes,
realize
that's very
it just
important, David. Just
a
the
habit.
visual,
Yeah,
just
it
the
becomes a
visual. Actually, do you even know where you are to even ask for the help that you need? Like,
habit.
have
right.
you really sat down? I have something that I've done when I first started a budget. It was called a money list. And the money list was a document that was everything I spent my money on,
Mhm.
no matter what it was. It was I went to the vending machine, I went to the gas station, I went to grocery shopping, I gave somebody cash money that I may have had in my pocket, a
Mhm.
money list of everything, that because the visual, it's people not seeing, people think that they're doing it and the bank account is really doing it for them. They're not doing it themselves. They're looking at the bank account, seeing a balance, and they're like, oh yeah, I got money. And
Right,
literally you really don't.
right,
Yep,
for
yep.
sure.
That's good stuff. That's good stuff.
That's good
I love
stuff.
it.
So Marcus has some questions that we're going to try and get started with to see what everybody's feedback is on that.
Yeah, let's go.
Yes, yes, indeed. Now, I've struggled with saving for a while. I finally came to an understanding of the importance of saving. So the question is, how does one determine the right balance between saving for the future and enjoying your life in the present? And we can start with you, Ashley.
Oh, me. Saving for the future. And then what's the second part of the question?
How can you distinguish between saving for the future and living for now? Pretty much buying things and how much you should save. How do you distinguish between the two? And how do you find that balance? What your balance is?
Yeah, so first and foremost, let's document my needs from my
Like
wants.
that. Like
First
that.
and
Ooh.
foremost, right? Literally, let's take some pen and paper
Mhm.
and let's write down needs and wants. And let's just write it down. Let's just start there. Document your needs, document your wants, right? Practical documents, needs and wants. Absolutely. Document your needs and document your wants. That's first and foremost, right? Once we document our needs versus our wants, and then we're documenting how much money is coming in. Like, what do you get paid? You got to know how much money you have. What's coming in? I get paid, I don't know, $1,000 every week. Okay, cool. Let's document how much comes in, right? Document your needs and wants, document how much comes in, and then document what am I paying? What am I paying?
Ins and outs.
Yes, what money is coming into the account? What am I spending it on? What are my expenses? My rent, my BG&E, the gas, the groceries, my Netflix. What are you spending it on? And then once you get to the bottom of that list, if there's a negative balance, right? Then we talk about, okay, how can we support this negative balance to make it increase, to have a positive balance? Positive balance can be a balance of $25, $50, $100. It doesn't have to be like so extravagant as we think it is.
Ashlyn, I got a question for you. What does
Yeah.
that negative balance mean? What does it represent?
Good one.
Yeah, so
It represents that either I don't make enough or I'm spending too much.
that part. Ding, 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 Nicole for the
Those are
win.
your
Most
two
definitely.
options.
Those are your two options. I don't have enough money coming into my account. I'm spending too much. Too much is going out of the account. Those are the two things. Not enough money is coming in. I'm excessively spending. Right. So I think that number at the bottom, that negative number or whatever that positive number is, I think that gives us a great foundation of where we are going to start saving now. Right. Or am I going to continue to spend? right? So just finding that balance. But I think first and foremost, let's discuss our needs and our wants. And once you literally write it on paper, you'll be like, oh, I spent it on that. How much I spent
Yeah.
at Burger King?
When
How
Right.
often do
see
I go
it.
to Starbucks?
Right.
Yes, indeed.
Like, oh, no, not me.
Yes.
You start seeing, right? So I think once you write it down and you start seeing, that will give you a gauge as to what I need to put away, what I need to save, or am I just going to consistently spend whatever that is? And finding that balance, I think goes back to what your morals and your principles are. Like, what are your values and your goals, or what you want to do with your finances? I can say I want to buy a house or I want to buy a condo, but if I'm not willing to put in the work to write down and document my needs, my wants, my expenses, what's coming in, what's going out, looking at the negative number or the positive number and seeing what that number is, how can we get to the condo? So I think finding a balance is just being open and honest with yourself and then writing it down, your needs and your wants first and foremost before we go any further.
I like that. I like that. And that goes full circle to what David was saying earlier about knowing where your money's going. You have to have a plan. If you don't make a plan, you plan to fail. Right. So
Yeah.
it's definitely important to have that balance and to keep track of the things that you're spending your money on. And like you were saying, Nicole, your bank account does it for you. We don't balance checkbooks anymore, right? So that takes that part out, but it's definitely just being mindful of your money and how it's moving.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And also can I add one thing is being mindful, like it's not that we can't spend, right? It's not being so frugal that we can't go to Starbucks or we can't go to Chick-fil-A or we can't go to Dunkin' or we can't go to the movies. Is this something that we need to be mindful of, be considerate of when we're doing those things?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, we had a comment. Someone said, so I was saying the seeing is the believing. She said she spent $14 in Dunkin' Donuts and she almost disputed it because she couldn't believe it.
And imagine doing that 2 times a week. That's almost
Yes,
$30. Right? That's almost
2 times a
$30.
week. Some people do it. It's a habit. It's just something that they do every day. And then before they realize it, they done spent $60
or more.
Yeah,
right?
or more.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I wanted to piggyback on what Ashlyn was saying about trying to find that balance and how do you decide? Well, she said part of it is your goal. What is your goal?
Mm-hmm.
What is your goal? You know what I mean? What are your goals? And you write them down. But then comes in that word that most people struggle with.
David, that's a cuss word. In the financial literacy realm, that's a cuss word.
Discipline. What about the discipline? Then discipline comes in where you gotta stick to your plan. Especially and once you identify and once you see what it is, you can't ignore it. You wrote it down, you see what your habits are, what your spending habits are. What is your goal? You got to figure out what's most important to you. You know what I mean? And you got to make a choice. We all been through it.
Yeah.
As kids, you can either do that. You can either buckle down now and struggle later, or you can struggle now by being disciplined and win later. You got a choice you can make. It's up to the individual to make that choice. But you go through enough tough times and get tired of not living the way you live.
Yeah.
And that discipline, that
discipline goes back to your why, and your goals are your why.
Yeah.
So you have goals, you know your why, and every time you go to spend and it's not meeting that goal, so I'm spending this why. Right. I'm not spending this why. It goes back to the goal and the why of why you are doing it, because it helps. That's the discipline of what do you want the results to be? Right. Discipline gives you results.
Yeah. What's the motivation and the influence behind it? Absolutely.
Yeah, I also think just not to be, so, right down the line, give yourself a little grace, a little win here or there.
Mhm.
You know,
Absolutely.
it's okay. It's okay to give yourself a little win, a little win
Mhm.
for meeting, meeting certain goals, meeting certain metrics in your plan. It's
Yeah.
okay, you know,
Mhm.
because you
It's
like Marcus was saying, you still got to live a
Right.
little bit, not
absolutely.
overdo it. You
Absolutely.
can't overdo it though. That's where the problem comes in. We overdo it. Notice I said we.
Yes, yes. We always do it. What, January 1st? What we doing? We going to the gym.
Those New
We
Year's
always do it.
resolutions.
We cut out everything. And we're like, whoa, baby steps, baby steps.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's too
Let's
hard.
maybe not go to Dunkin' Donut every day. Maybe we can
Right.
break it down to 3 days a week. Maybe not, like baby steps, because when you try to do those hard stops, you crave it more. I don't know why that's in us, but when you do a hard stop, it's just like wait, and it's almost that choice of saying, when we say you cannot have or can, the more the desire is that you
Right,
want it.
right.
So when you do those
Yeah.
hard stops, just like
Yeah, start do the little wins, and just try to build on them. Build that momentum. Start with the little wins. You know what I mean, and discipline and consistency. They say, what do you got to do something for what 30 days for it to become a habit or a positive habitual type of activity that you're doing. So the consistency is important. It's trying to stick to it.
Can I add to that just a little bit, right? So on the clinical aspect, on the therapy aspect, on the social work and counseling aspect, right? We also have to consider like some of the traumas that we've gone through in the past that influences these spending habits, that influences these behaviors. So for example, Nicole mentioned I can't, when people say I can't spend at Chick-fil-A, or I can't go to the movies, or I can't go to a fair or a festival or something like that. That statement of someone saying no, you can't do this, or no, you can't do that, could be something from their past that's triggering them. Where my mom always told me no, you
Mhm.
can't do this, or no, you're not good enough to do that, or no, you're not able to do this, or no, you don't have the ability to do that. So we start attaching it. We start building on it, right? And then the power that we feel like we do have, you're not going to tell me what to do with my money. I'm going to do what I want, when I want to do, how I want to do it,
That's
because
good.
I work
Real
this
good.
9-to-5 job, and I
Real good.
make my money, and I'm going to spend my money how I say so. And I'm like, oh, wait a minute, hold on.
That's not what I meant.
But that's a real space that most people
Yes.
don't think about or consider. So when I talk about the money mindset and the clinical aspect behind that, that's the stuff, that's the residue that I'm touching base on. Let's talk
That's
about
real
what happened when
good.
you was 15, when you was 12. What did that look like? Let's understand how our behaviors have developed, have grown, have matured, right, from some of our past traumas. And most people don't connect the two, like OMG.
Right.
That's where that mentor can come into play.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
it can, paint a little different picture for you, because just where you're sitting and where we're viewing, or
Mhm.
what is your relationship with money? Is it a positive relationship?
Mm-hmm.
Was it not?
Right.
And
Yep.
some of your past can contribute to which side you're on as far as that is concerned.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, it's a big factor. Plays a
We
big
have a
key.
question, team. We have a question. How does saving play into one's credit?
Go ahead, credit. Go ahead, credit, David. Come on, credit. I'm gonna back you up on this.
I'll tell you what. Savings plays a big part into credit, because if you don't take care of your credit, it reduces your opportunity to save. Because if you have to go out and finance something, if you don't have good credit, it's going to cost you so much more
Yeah.
than it would for someone who had good credit.
Mhm.
So let's take a car, so to speak. So you go and finance a car for $25,000. That's a cheap car today, too, man. With the interest rates that are out there today, and let's say your interest rate is 24%, which is not uncommon for today. That is not uncommon for today. That car costs that person on a monthly basis for $25,000. That could be $700 or $800 a month
To drive.
That's just the car payment.
We're not even talking about insurance, right?
Oh,
We're talking about the payment, right? Versus someone who has good credit and their interest rate is 4.99%. Their payment is $350 for that $25,000 car.
I got a follow-up question as far as the savings and the credit. How do you determine which one to do? So should you be saving or should you be getting the credit straight? Because I know how some people will, I just need to save, but there's still bills and credit things that need to be fixed. So
Both.
should you still be saving or paying off the debt?
So in my opinion, it's worth getting your credit straight as quickly as possible. Because, okay, let's say you got to pay for a service to restore your credit. Let's say it's $800, right? $800. The process might take you 4 to 6 months to get your credit straight, right? What is that savings going to do for you if you trying to? What are you saving for? You're saving to purchase a home. Well, if my credit score is 740 and above versus 600, and I'm trying to purchase a home, if I get my credit straight first, I'm going to put myself in a much better financial position. You know what I mean? When it comes time to make that purchase or try to attack that goal that you're trying to achieve. That doesn't mean that you can't save some at the same time.
Okay.
But it would behoove you to get that credit straight as quickly as possible, because that's long term additional interest that you're going to pay. That's going to eat up that savings. You could have saved more. You know what I mean? If your financial terms were in a better position. So yeah, I would say you want to try to do both, but it is so important to try to get that credit straight as soon as possible. Especially once you understand and you learn. Most of our problem is, we didn't learn. We didn't know anything about it. We trial by error, most of us.
Yeah. David, I want to go ahead. Just go ahead.
No, I was just going to go back to what you were saying about the trauma. That trauma piece is major in that aspect as well. Because a lot of times these conversations aren't had at the table, and if they were, and for some they were, and I'm sure those people are in a better position because they knew about money as opposed to just saying, "Kids, stay in your place and money, go to school, whatever the case is." Even I was thinking about earlier when we were talking, when they say McDonald's money, do you have McDonald's money?
Yeah.
That could cause somebody to go off the edge and eat McDonald's every day. I got McDonald's money now, So those traumas, man, those traumas play a part, and the trauma, of course, is stacks on top of each other, and that even goes back further because great grandma even probably said the same thing, and then we just pass it on. So it's important that we unravel that trauma.
Yeah, and that's a big part of it, because some of our parents say, don't ever get credit cards. Don't get credit cards. Only use them for emergencies. Don't get no credit card. Don't use no credit card. And it's really because our parents or our grandparents, aunt, uncles wasn't taught how to use a credit card.
Right.
So we got to go back to the very beginning and talk about what are the 5 factors of credit. Right? We want to get the 700 credit score. We want to get the 750 credit score. But do we know what the 5 factors of credit are? Do we know what is entailed in a credit score?
Can I break it down? Can I break it down for them?
Come on, you break it down and I'll follow up. You break it down and I'll follow up. Let's go.
The biggest piece of the credit factors is payment history. That's 35%.
Yes.
Absolutely.
How you pay your bills. That's your resume. The next biggest piece involves credit cards. credit utilization.
Yes.
That means how much does that credit card report to the credit bureau, the balance versus whatever the limit is on that card.
Mm-hmm.
That's the second biggest piece. That's 15%. The next piece is credit age. How long is the history as far as the credit history that you have?
Mm-hmm.
How long have you had those credit cards? You know what I mean? How many credit cards with age do you have? You know, next size is mix. You know, you have installment, you have revolving debt. You know what I mean? The mix of the credit factors. And Ashley, help me. What's the last one? It's one more. What's the last?
Yeah.
one?
So the last 10% is inquiries. Like
Yeah.
your new credit
Yes, right.
inquiries, people, people pulling your credit, making sure that we don't have a lot of inquiries or a lot of a new age credit where people just dinging and pulling our credit. Is the last 10%.
It's the
Yeah.
last 10%.
Yep.
So those are the credit factors. So people are afraid of credit cards, revolving debt. That's one of the main pieces that we use to build your credit.
Yes.
It's just a matter of understanding and knowing how to use it. You know, that's the biggest piece. It can be your absolute best friend, and it can impact your score on a 30-day cycle, just depending on what the balance is that's reported to the credit bureau versus what your limit is on that card. And the key is you really want to, they say you want to don't want to carry a balance higher than 30%, but I say 15% of your limit. 15% of your limit or less when that card reports to the credit bureau. In between those times, you can use the card, you can max it out. Just make sure you pay that balance down a day or two before that date, the closeout date, that card reports to the credit bureau.
Yes. Yeah. So the credit piece goes to discipline. It goes back to the discipline piece. You just have to be disciplined. You can have a credit card with $100,000 limit. It does not mean you have to go spend $100,000.
Right.
Especially if you
$20,
can't pay it.
spend 30.
Especially if you can't pay it.
Yes, especially you can't pay it for sure. And once you learn how credit works, then you can manipulate the score. If you know credit card utilization is a major part, you can pay your credit card, and then you can see in 1 to 2 months or whatever the case is, it'll take effect immediately. So if you knowledge is power. If you understand how the mechanics work, then you can manipulate it.
Yeah, absolutely.
In a good way.
Somebody just made a great comment. Let's say you had a credit card for years and you finally pay it off.
Yeah.
So like, do you close it out? Absolutely not.
Do not.
You hurt yourself.
Do not close that card out. You put $10 on it. Keep that card active.
Yeah.
Because if you close it out, you just lost all of that credit age, which will negatively, it'll adversely affect your score. It'll bring your score down.
Yeah.
It's just like Marcus was saying, you just, once you know how to use it, it's easy. It's all about the knowledge. If you don't know how to use it, then of course it's scary, it's intimidating. And everyone has always told you, don't get no credit cards, they're bad for you. No, that's not true. You just need to know how to use it.
Yeah.
And know yourself.
Know how to use it.
Know yourself.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Let me tell you an example. I had a Value City credit card. When I bought my house, I got a Value City credit card so I can furnish my house because I didn't have the money out of pocket. So I got a Value City credit card. I got my furniture. I did everything I wanted to do. And then I let the card lay dormant for like 2 years. Didn't buy not another piece of furniture. After I ran the card up,
Shut you down.
I paid it off. And then I let the card lay dormant. They closed my account.
Sure.
Sometimes the stores
that is the same thing that happened to me.
The stores can close out your accounts because now they can't make no money off of me. Yeah. I'm not using the card. I become a liability to the organization. So they cut me off, y'all. And that history that I had a year, 2 years, is gone. And it affected my credit. I was mad.
Sure.
So now if I want to go back to Value City or refurnish my house, guess what I have to do?
You got to get another inquiry.
Reapply.
You got to get another inquiry.
I gotta reapply.
That's
So
working backwards.
companies can close out credit cards too. If we're not using them, the company can close it out. So what David just mentioned, use it $10 here, $20 there, buy some socks, some t-shirts,
Right.
get gas, do something on the
Keep
card.
that card open.
Yes.
The other key about credit cards also is, let's say you do charge the card up, but I have a lot of people that say, well, I'm paying it on time, I'm not missing any payments. Yeah, but if you keep that card maxed out, once you do pay it down, guess what they're gonna do? They're gonna lower that limit, and that's gonna hurt you as well, because that's gonna raise your utilization, because you don't have as much you can borrow from. So don't leave a high balance on those cards for long periods of time. That will hurt you as well, because
Yeah.
once you do pay it down, they're going to lower your limit, and that will adversely affect your score for sure.
We have a
Another
question
game.
about this, about the card. Someone has a credit card balance of $1,335 and the max is $1,500, and they're really trying not to use it because obviously they overused it. But unless it's emergency, which is usually gas, advise. And my advice would to budget, to definitely write down what your ins and outs are so that you can find a way not to utilize that card, and put that card payment as one of your outs so that you can actually realize what you need to be paying on that card to not use it. So gas shouldn't have to go on a credit card unless you're disciplined to use it for gas and then pay it off. But if not, you should be budgeting for gas on a monthly basis. So my first thing would be for you to write down that money list. Write it down. What are you spending your money on? Because your emergencies should not be coming from credit cards. So you need to know where you are so that you can see what you should not be spending on, so that you can know where the money is going, to see that you have enough for gas, because you may have enough for gas if you stop something else. So definitely do that money list to see where the money is going.
You got to pay that card down as soon as possible too. 'Cause
Yeah.
like I said, if you leave it, that's high utilization that she has right now, because it's above 30%
Mhm.
balance that she's carrying. And if she leave it high like that, they once she does finally pay it down, they may reduce her limit, but right now, because it's high utilization, it's adversely affecting her credit scores.
Yes.
Mhm. And also
But
be
definitely make at least the minimum payment until you budget and figure out that you could pay more. Don't miss a payment. Do
Definitely.
not.
Yeah. Go ahead, Marcus.
Oh, no, I was just gonna speak to the interest on those high utilization credit cards. They tear you up in the interest, because it's about what
Yes.
balance you have on the card. So the quicker you pay it down, the more you'll save in interest,
Yeah.
and ultimately the more you keep in your pocket.
Yeah.
Right.
And also be mindful. I know this is probably something we've heard. I know I've heard it. Only use credit cards for an emergency. This is my perspective. Credit cards are not emergency funds. If it's used as an emergency fund and you spend the money that you had saved for an emergency, how are you paying it back?
Right.
Because credit is borrowed money. It's not yours.
Right.
It's not mine. It's not David's. This is not our money. We're borrowing the money from the bank so we can pay it back. So I when people say I have an emergency fund and I use my credit card for emergencies, credit cards
That's not an emergency
are
fund.
not an emergency fund. Yeah, credit cards aren't emergency funds. They're used to build credit, to exercise, to do whatever you need to do, like everyday expenses if you can pay it back, or put one account on that credit card, your cell phone bill, and pay it back every month. $55, $65, $80, whatever it is, and pay it back. You got to use the muscle to build it.
Yes.
Credit cards are not emergency funds.
Exclamation point.
They're not emergency
Exclamation point.
Right.
Oh, we had a question. How do taxes play into what people need to know? That's a kind of broad. That's a broad question. But
Yeah.
as far as like taxes, I would say the most thing for a W-2 wage earner is to make sure that W-4 is accurate. make sure that they are taking out enough taxes. Do not give Uncle Sam an interest-free loan all year. Do not go exempt and pay Uncle Sam absolutely nothing all year, but definitely go into that W-4 with HR and make sure that you are taking out the correct amount of exemptions. For business owners, definitely have an Excel spreadsheet, keep receipts, document everything that you spend your money on, because when tax time comes, when tax filing comes, because tax time is all year long, everyone. Tax season is all year long. Filing season is January to April, but tax season is all you should be planning, documenting, keeping track of your expenses. It goes back to that money list. You need it for your business and you need it for your personal. You should be tracking everything that you spend. I think I've heard it best when somebody says, you tell your money what to do. Don't let your money tell you what to do. And having that money list, you know what the money is doing. And it's not the other way around.
Yeah, I would say consult a professional.
Absolutely.
Consult a CPA tax preparer so they can tell you based on your personal characteristics, your situation, what that W-4 should say. That way, you get it from the expert, knowing,
Absolutely.
Once you explain to them, what your life is, what your habits are, what your contributions are, and have them advise you from their expert advice on what that should look like.
Mhm.
Yes. Be smart about it. Don't just look for the refunds at the end of the year. Smart people, we want to break even. We're not looking for refunds and we're not looking to owe. We want to break even and pay our fair share. That's all we want to do. We just want to pay what we owe and be done with it.
And keep the alphabet off your back.
All righty. I know you got more questions for us, Marcus.
I do indeed. So I'm circling back to the credit piece. And we all talked about at some point we're gonna acquire these lines, whether it be buying a car, buying a home, or just credit cards. So my question is, what are some strategies for managing debt effectively and working towards becoming debt free? And anybody can jump in, anybody can start, and we just go around.
So we're talking about managing our debt.
Yeah. So the question is, what are some strategies for managing debt effectively and working towards becoming debt free?
Yeah. So writing down needs and wants and creating a budget. That was number 2. Yeah. Writing down your needs and your wants. Writing down what's coming in, what's going out, and we have to learn how to do a budget. Budget, I tell people, budget is not a restriction. Budget is not saying what you cannot do. Budget is not telling you what I cannot spend.
Right.
Budget is not telling you what I cannot buy. Budget gives you the straight and narrow path to tell you that I can go on vacation to Hawaii, that I can make the home repair, that I can get the new rims for my car, I can put the tint on my windows. The budget allows you to do every single thing you choose to do in life. Literally. Everything you want to do comes from a budget. We have it twisted, we have it backwards because we've been conformed. This is what we've been taught, this is what we've heard. Budget is a cuss word to me in the financial realm. Budget is a cuss word, right? But oh my God, Miss Ash, you said budget. That's not a cuss word, right?
Can I put whatever I want on my budget?
And then
Absolutely.
Right.
It's
Just
your
make it a part of the budget.
just make it a part of the budget, and then it also goes to this stigma of budget being negative and belittling and degrading because of what we've seen, what we've heard, the behaviors that we have seen from our past, from some of the trauma we've experienced, from the behaviors that we've seen. I first and foremost attach budget with negative. Budget saying what I cannot do. No. Budget is telling me, oh, I can create a budget to get these rims for my car.
Right.
I can create a budget
Absolutely.
and make this home repair. Oh, that's exciting to me. What I gotta do?
Right.
Like people, we're not doing that.
Right.
It's total
Right.
opposite. It's total opposite. So I would say to become debt free, we have to write it down, our needs and our wants. We have to know what's coming in, what's going out, and we have to create a budget. Have to.
I couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more. The budget is nothing but, like you said, there's negative connotations attached to it. But it's just a money plan. Having a
Yeah.
plan for your money, having a plan, and not just spending recklessly. Not just paying your bills and then spending the rest of the money and waiting until we get paid again. No, that's not a good structure to have, right? Because we're paying everybody but ourselves if we're doing that, right? So
Right.
we're paying, making sure the loan for the home gets paid, making sure the car loan gets paid, making sure AT&T gets paid,
Mhm.
right? And then it trickles down, and then we make sure that Gucci gets paid when we get our portion, right? we gonna make sure they get paid too, right?
Right.
And then at the end, there's nothing to save, and so
Yeah,
definitely money plan.
absolutely. I like that.
Definitely.
I was going to
Anybody
circle
else?
back. Someone asked for some scriptures to meditate on. I would say Proverbs 21:5, Job 22:21, and Proverbs 11:24-25. I didn't read them out, but for you to document.
Yeah.
And also Proverbs 6:6-8, and I'm going to read it real quick. It says, "Go to the ant, thou sluggard, consider her ways and be wise, which having no guide, overseer, or ruler, provideth her meat in the summer, and gathereth her food in the harvest." So that speaks of a saving and preparation. So the Bible definitely touches on finances many a times.
Yeah.
Definitely, those are all laws.
Yeah. Can I add one more to the list?
Yes,
Absolutely.
go ahead.
I have Deuteronomy 8:18, and it says, "And you shall remember the Lord your God, for it is he who gives you power to get wealth, that he may establish his covenant, which he swore to your father. It is this day that be reminded that God has given us the power to be wealthy. God has given us the power to accomplish, to produce, to have
Right.
abundance, to have prosperity,
Right.
to mature in our finances, that we are wealthy in his kingdom.
Yes.
That
Yes.
money is used as a resource and not as a demand.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
And when he says it, it's already done. We know that.
absolutely.
Right.
So we just got to catch up.
Yeah.
Already done. Right. What it was a songwriter said, "Get your inheritance." I'll be like, yeah, I'm ready
Yes.
for it.
Absolutely, because it's already
I'm
ours.
ready
Give it to
for it.
Okay. So this next question is actually one of my something that I came up with. What are some common misconceptions surrounding investing? We haven't touched on investing at all tonight.
Yeah.
Anybody
and so-
can answer.
I would say the education, the experts, get educated. Don't just invest in something because someone said it. Do your research.
Because it's so many different
Research.
types of investments. It's so
Yeah.
many different types of investments. You know, of course, we want our money to work for us. We want to get a return on our finances. But make sure you get connected to someone that knows how to invest.
Absolutely.
Like,
don't
Like, don't come to me for investment. Because
Right. I'm gonna put it.
I'm gonna attach you to someone else that
I'm gonna put
not the investment lady.
I'm gonna put a twist on this. I'm gonna tell you the first thing you need to invest in. Everybody can do this. Everybody. Invest in yourself first.
Come on, David.
Invest
good.
in yourself first.
Yeah.
Before you invest in anything else. Invest in you. Whatever that means to you individually.
Yes.
Invest in yourself. And then go from there.
I
That's one of my 4 principles, David.
love it.
If people
And investing in
listen to me,
Is
that's something I
educating
always
yourself,
say.
ever learning,
Yes.
training, growing. That's investing in yourself. Every
Mind-
time you read
Mind,
something,
body,
what you're
mind, body,
pouring
spirit.
into yourself is what you're investing in. So absolutely,
Mind-
David, I love it. I love
mind, body, and spirit for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
mind, body, and
Yes.
spirit. Then like Nicole was saying, anything you want to invest in, you got to do your homework.
Mhm.
You got to be smart about, the move you want to make, because you worked hard for your money. Listen, I don't want to see my money going to waste. Man, you talk about irritating somebody
Mhm.
quickly. People, they do some strange things when they have that financial burden or that stress or they lost their money. People change quick. You see
Mhm.
the ugly side of them very quick, but you got to do your homework. But like I said, the first thing you need to invest in is yourself, for
I
sure.
love that, David. That's
I wanted to,
so good.
and to be investing. The main is definitely with your employer. Your employer doing that investment in yourself with the TSPs for government workers, the IRAs, they have matching for
Mhm.
like retirement. Those are your investments. Like the money that you're putting it in, it's not just sitting somewhere, it's being invested somewhere. So definitely talk to your employer. And if somebody's giving you a free 5, you got to put 5% and they're giving you a free 5%. Why would
You
you
gotta do
not put the
That's
Maxing
5%
out.
money.
in?
Maxing
At
out.
least do the match at a minimum.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is do the match.
Most people miss it though. They don't even understand
Yeah.
it. They miss it.
Yeah.
They miss it.
Yes.
And,
Absolutely.
and one thing I want to add, from the clinical perspective, is believing that you are worth the investment.
Mhm.
Do I feel like I am worthy? My 4 principles that I talked about: I'm worthy, I'm deserving, I'm valuable, I am worth the investment. Do I even feel worthy of the investment to invest in myself, to read the book, to go speak to the financial consultant, to be in a different tax bracket? Some people feel like, I don't want to be in a different tax bracket because I'm going to lose my friends, or people going to look at me different, or they're going to think I'm being bougie, or you acting brand new because you making 6 figures. Do you even feel like you're even worthy enough to even have those 6 figures,
Mhm.
to even make that money, to invest that money, to read that book, to be in that class, to attend that conference, to go to that seminar, to be on this? Like, am I
Yes.
worthy enough?
Absolutely.
Do I
You
feel worthy
did the work.
enough to make the investment in me? Because it
Yeah.
takes stamina and it takes energy, and certain things around you have to change when you start making the intentional investment. So that's the
Intentional.
clinical aspect
Mm-hmm.
behind and making the investment. Do I feel worthy enough?
Yes.
I love
Yes.
it.
I
Love
love
that.
it. I love it. This has been great, team. Hey, you don't believe we've been on an hour already? Oh my God. When we talk
Right
about the
on time.
money, talk about the financial wellness. Can you
Yeah.
all go around and let people know how they can reach you if they wanted to utilize your services? I know that Ashlyn will be vending on Saturday at the conference, so you could actually see her in person. But how can we reach? How can anyone reach you? Give your Instagram, any type of contact. Let's go.
Yeah. So I'll start. So thank you so much for having me on Worship and Wellness. I had an amazing time having a party with y'all, right? We family. Y'all stuck with me now. Y'all stuck with me now. So you all can connect with me. I am Ashlyn Price, aka the Money Social Worker. So on Instagram, I am the Money Social Worker on Instagram. On TikTok, I am the Money Social Worker on TikTok. On Facebook, it is my name, Ashlyn Price. On LinkedIn, I am Ashlyn Price. I am open for consultations right now. I am open for group facilitation right now. I am open to having conversations to see how I can support you in your financial wellness journey in this process. I will be at the conference this weekend, the vending event. So you all are more than welcome to contact me, to talk to me. I'll have some free giveaways that I'll be offering. You all can send me an email as well. Info at the Money Social Worker. Everything is the Money Social Worker. And you all can contact me then. But I am open for services, for consultations. I'm open for one-on-one, and I'm open for group facilitation. So Come hang out with me for a little bit. Ashlyn, aka the Money Social Worker.
Oh my goodness.
Love
So,
it. Love it. I love it. All right,
I
David.
so I can be found on Instagram at Smooth Lending. Yes, I'm building upon my own brand, Smooth Lending and Consulting, but my Instagram is at Smooth Lending. It's a play on my last name. Most people say smooth instead of smooth. So, hey, I built upon it. Facebook is just simply David Smoot. LinkedIn, David Smoot as well. I will not be at the conference Saturday because I am facilitating a home buyer seminar on Saturday.
Nice.
So
Yeah,
Nice.
that's
unfortunately,
awesome.
I can't be at two places at one time, but follow me on Instagram. I have I have plenty more seminars that are coming up. And if you need my services, credit, any financial involving real estate, business funding, business credit, setting up businesses, LLCs, anything like that. My website is www.smooth-lending.com.
Awesome.
Okay.
I can vend on Friday.
Hint, hint. Well, awesome, awesome. This has been absolutely amazing. I think that a lot of people have gotten some financial literacy during the financial literacy month of April to keep it moving. We thank you so much for joining us. Tomorrow night, we will be on the Thursday Night Fire platform where we will have our own Apostle Coates and Jamise from Renew. They will be talking about social and I believe it's mental wellness, social and mental wellness. And they will be on tomorrow on the Thursday Night Fire. So that's the platform that will be on tomorrow virtually as well. And then Friday night, again, will be in spiritual wellness where we will have praise and worship, dance, and just a good time in the Lord on Friday night, and that starts at 7:30 p.m. And then Saturday we start at 8:30. We go into mindfulness. We have a panel discussion about wellness. We also will have Zumba, and it's open to all family, male, female, sister, brother, cousin. Everybody is welcome because wellness is for everyone. So we hope that you have enjoyed this evening, and we hope that you will join us again tomorrow on Thursday Night Fire. Good night.
Have a good one. It's been a pleasure.
Absolutely.